Leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll. Hit and miss. Now you counting stars. Should've practiced more. Should've hit the mask. Get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much. World come back. Sports talking way too much. World come back. Sports talking way too much. World come back.
Yo, shout out to the hottest chat in the MF and game. A-Side official. No negotiations needed, period. You already know WCS is back in the building. Salute. It's a Sunday, and let's talk about this fight week that just went down. We had some so-called shockers, some bell ringers. You know what I'm saying? Sound the alarm type of results. But let's get down to the first one. Charles Conwell. Underrated. 21 victories, opposite 0 defeats. 16 coming by way of knockouts. He's contended at 154 pounds. 27 years of age, man, out of Cleveland, Ohio. He went in there against Gerardo Vergara, 20-0, undefeated. Tough competitor. Well, he was supposed to be. They would match up in a 10-round co-main bout where Gerardo looked strong. I mean, if you listen to the commentary here and there, that he looked the part. They was sitting up here praising and complimenting how his legs look and how his physical structure was comparable to Charles Conwell. But then the fight, it had to commence with the sound of the bell. And it got off to a slow start. I'm not going to lie. You know, fighters was throwing combinations in spurts. People was a little anxious. Like, okay, when are we going to pick it up? You know what I'm saying? Because they really wanted to, you know how boxing fans get. They get anxious. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to see the Alexis Rocha and Carrell fight. You know, they wanted something that the co-headline is supposed to be the preamble to the main. You know, and they really wanted to get it jumping. But Charles Conwell didn't disappoint because he methodically broke his opponent down, Vergara, over a period of time. I have to say, on Vergara's half and Conwell, the fight picked up real nice. They was in some solid exchanges within space. You know what I'm saying? They was close distance and they was landing some hard shots. But I noticed how Conwell was slowly but surely degrading Vergara with the body shots he was landing. Vergara selected to back up and start defending and boxing off the back foot. So I was like, damn, I know Conwell sees this, and he did. But to Vergara's credit, he did not falter too early. And, you know, he brought it back. You know what I'm saying? He switched on. He said, I got to do something about this. This guy's pushing me back. You know what I'm saying? 20-0. Hey, you know, you're talking about 20-0 now. 20-0 versus 20-0 now. Somebody's O has to go. And man, they started trading. And, you know, they was Vergara's corner was telling him that they believed that Charles Conwell was getting a little tired. When in fact, I just think Conwell selected to kind of put it in a lower gear to pull out the activity. to kind of set Vergara up for something else. You know what I'm saying? He wanted him to get a false sense of confidence. The way he was opening up and throwing those exchanges, and it seems like Conwell wasn't returning with the same energy he did early in the fight. It turned into a very solid scrap. As you can see, Conwell start to really peel back. You know what I'm saying? Start to wear him down. And Vergara, he doesn't have a good poker face, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Conwell must have been hitting him with some shots that made him feel all nice and gooey inside. Conwell, it seemed like he was goddamn, massaging his organs with the tip of his gloves when he was landing those shots, because Vergara started to break down. Conwell started to go up top. He started to let his hands go up top. Ended up getting a stoppage in the 7th round with a solid. I mean, it had to be at least. Let me see what y'all say on the counter, man. 6, 7 freaking left hooks. Old boy standing up. Remind me of Tommy Morrison, goddamn it, and Ray Mercer. Except Ray Mercer was using both of his hands. Conwell, when he was posting them up in the corner like a scarecrow, man, he was just hitting him and hitting it with left hooks. Somewhat like when somebody off the street walk in the gym and challenge you, and they end up being stood up because their equilibrium is bad. They disorientated. That's how Vergara became once he was hurt. And the referee just standing there and watching Conwell bang, 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 bang with left hooks. I said, shit, the church bell ringing. What you waiting on? The goddamn funeral detail? Are you waiting on the minister? This dude's about to die. Bang, 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 bang. And finally, the referee stepped in before Vergara started to see the entry of the upper room. I thought it was a little bit late, but I guess they was giving Vergara all the time he needed to try to get through that onslaught that Charles Conwell was giving him. You know what I'm saying? Overall, it was a good fight. Solid fight for Charles Conwell, as always. That's what he does. That's what he does. That's what he does. You know what I'm saying? He further proves that he is one certified, confirmed contender at 154 pounds. Whether they allow him, let me look some up. Whether they allow Charles Conwell to not be in a position where he's parked like Sebastian Fundora was, because at one point in time, Conwell was ranked very high in the WBC. And Sebastian Fundora was at that parking space for a while too. You know what I'm saying? And until somehow, I don't know what happened, they started trying to maneuver certain names into positions, whatever. But right now, from what I see, the WBO, Conwell is number 3. All right. In the WBC, he's number 5. He's not ranked in the WBA. And he's 14th. He's ranked 14th out of the top 15 in the IBF. So the only sanctioning body that Conwell is not ranked in is the WBA. All right. And let me double check that one more time. He's not ranked in the top 15 of the WBA, but the WBC, IBF, and the WBO. Conwell is closer to getting a title shot in the WBO than anything else. But shout out to Charles Conwell, improving his record to 21-0. You know what I'm saying? Or, see, let me do my research. Let me make sure that I'm correct. Yeah, 21-0, 16 knockouts. 21-0 and 16 knockouts earning another victory via knockout in the 7th round over Gerardo Vergara. You know what I'm saying? Gerardo Luis Vergara, in Ontario, Canada. So, salute to that. Also dealing with the 154-pound division while we're here, I just wanted to briefly touch on a situation that a lot of people have been in tune to, right? And that is the decision to not approve Errol Spence's fight in the WBO sanctioning body. Why do I believe this is a message being sent? Because boxing can get away with a lot of loopholes. There's so many, amendments, you know what I'm saying, or off the record, where you can bypass certain things. They call them loopholes. You know what I'm saying? Boxing has so many loopholes. It almost make you think of space, astrology. There's always things that's going on that you say to yourself, that's not supposed to happen. No, that's not fair. That's not fair. That's not supposed to happen. You know what I'm saying? But it's funny how it didn't work for Spence. I guess it was a sanctioning body, to be honest with you. I guess it was a sanctioning body because you know where I'm going with this, right? I've been following boxing, just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I've had my audacious moments. I've been following boxing about a good 2.5 months. So when I heard that Spence wasn't approved via the WBO, automatically my antennas was already up. I was checking the bandwidth that I had between my thought process and what I needed to cross the synapses gap to say, why didn't they improve him? Was it just the WBO? Because Rolly Romero at one point in time lost to Gervonta Davis. He was in the ropes like Charlotte's Web, asking for 2 Chico sticks and a slushie. He lost via knockout. Yeah, Rolly Romero lost via knockout, but he was catapulted up into the WBA rankings at 140 pounds. Isn't that the same thing that Spence is doing? Except there's no, title there for him to scoop up as easy as Rolly Romero did. Like Spence wasn't approved by the WBO. Rolly was in the WBA at the time. And I'm trying to say uniformity when it comes to boxing is non-existent. It's non-existent. The lack of grace to approve one but disapprove the other shows a lack of inconsistency. I really try to explain this to people that boxing is not regulated. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about the commissions, and what involvement they have with the fights. I'm speaking about the system for which boxing is ran. Internally, the structure is flawed. It's been that way for quite some time. There's really no standard operating procedures. It's just depending on the state of affairs, the magnitude of the fight, we see what we see. And this is a perfect example where Errol Spence does not get the therapeutic exemption approval. Now, do I feel some type of way that Errol Spence attempted to bypass all those people just because he was a unified champion at 147 pounds once upon a time? Yeah. He was clearly defeated on July 29, 2023. He was clearly defeated. Now, when it comes to him attempting to, this is the beautiful part about it, him attempting to fight Sebastian Fundora The petty part of me starts to, become a little bit inflamed. Why? Because I remember all the blocking that was going on and the clapping of the hands and tapping of the heels, where people was happy that Errol Spence was so-called blocking Crawford from a fight. I remember, you know, when Errol Spence jumped in the ring and said he was up next, he gonna chop, so and so down and all that. He was acting like he was a goddamn Texas Paul Bunyan. That's what I got from Errol. All the, cock blocking and hip hoorah, hooray, and all this shit that was coming from these casual ass boxing fans. They thought it was funny games. I really think 2024 has been somewhat of a curriculum. Not the curriculum in a sense where we're it's textbook. It's something that you're as a boxing fan, you selected this class. This is more of a boxing curriculum that individuals learning off disappointment. A lot of boxing fans have learned from 2023 to 24. Spence dropping out, some sort of everything that's been going on with the sport of boxing. For him to basically bypass the 154 ranking systems just so his people over there at PBC could potentially do what they've been doing. You know what I'm saying? Just pretty much moving as they think they could. You know what I'm saying? Making their own rules, not giving a damn about anybody else. I mean, boxing's been that way for a minute. But the WBO says no. We're not sanctioning that fight. We're not sanctioning for you to face Sebastian Fundora. Because look, the wild part about it is that, Tim Tszyu, that used to be his belt before Sebastian, beat Tim Tszyu for it, right? And why I say 2024 has just been so unique. It has its own mystique, right? Because the way Sebastian Fundora was able to get knocked out by Brian Mendoza and then come back around to fight Tim Tszyu. Tim Tszyu get cut. Sebastian Fundora picks up his belt. And since picking up Tim Tszyu's belt and also being awarded, to fight for the WBC, once Jermell Charlo just went in recess, things haven't moved quite as smooth as Sebastian Fundora would like. When Spence hopped into the ring in Vegas, it seems like everything was going to be a little bit cool sailing, but it's been bumpy. You know what I'm saying? This shit has been bumpy for Fundora. He was gifted the WBC title, you know what I'm saying, in accordance with him actually fighting Tszyu for the WBO. He wins the fight. Tszyu attempts to get back into the groove with the IBF, fails. Sebastian Fundora has been in and out of the media with sound bites. He said he wanted to fight Crawford. He's the greatest fighter, but his manager, Samson Likowicz, is out here parading around with a bullhorn, telling the fans that Crawford has a no lackable style and all that. But guess what? They can't get a fight from all that. I'm not saying Sebastian Fundora was doing it, but he hasn't been able to get a fight. Samson hasn't been able to get a fight. And I appreciate Crawford not just saying, I go do this, that, and the other, and just act like he's the seaside. He has one belt. And whatever agreement they made, cool. Crawford is showing that he is in control of his own momentum. He's not going to allow someone else to influence how fast or slow he goes in this process. And Samson went out there talking mad shit about Crawford and then had to double back in the attempt to get a fight. And Spence is struggling. It's not like they just can't fight for the WBC. You know what I'm saying? Let's see him go in and fight Sebastian Fundora for the WBC. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Forget it. I hear everybody out here, talking and acting like it's breaking news that um they're not approving Errol Spence. But this has been something that's been going on, for the longest of time since 23. Seeing these cameo appearances by Errol Spence, seeing these goofy ass clown bozo ass freaking casual boxing fans still cheering as if it's a carnival. Like they haven't look like these same casual boxing fans was just in 2023 walking around looking like goddamn Nelly and the Saint Lunatics with band-aids all in their face because they was goddamn Crawford haters. And Crawford is not only slapped around Spence, but he slapped around his freaking fans too into extinction. He slapped them around into extinction, y'all. But now you come back around. Granted, it's so much that's happened from the 23 to 24 in boxing, especially with this entire scenario at 154. Very, very hot. I'm talking about. This it's only a matter of time before if some fights can be made at 154 that we have that type of volcanic eruption. We have that type of lava flow at 154 pounds. We have the names there. Really, we do. We have the names there. Madrimov was able to really get exposure from his loss with Crawford. You got Conwell, Charles Conwell, just defeated Vergara. He's in the picture. I mean, you have Erickson, Luke, man. You have so many people at 154. Xander Zayas. You cannot forget Xander Zayas. Virgil Ortiz is up there. You know what I'm saying? Jamel Charlo is still in writing. He's in recess. In writing. Why can't Errol Spence fight Jamel Charlo? They've been out the ring. I mean, come on, bro. That's another set of brothers that's not willing to make no money. And both of them need it right now. Even though, WCS had put it out there before for them to make millions together, that's all since dissolved because both of them are out of the ring. Jamel is no longer the unified undisputed champion. But they could have made millions if they would have knew how to work together. They could have did business together. It's not up to me to figure out what's going on with Errol Spence. All I know is the WBO did what they're supposed to do. And when it comes to Crawford, yeah, there's so many people that can, write down bullet points on what their criticism is of the champ. But he has absolutely made such a overwhelming progress on the back end of his career. I mean, his sales have been up and the ride has been pretty smooth. I'm not talking about, what people think about his performance. It's boxing at the end of the day. But as far as business goes, as far as his notoriety, as far as him moving the needle in boxing, he's done well. Great. You know what I'm saying? Even with the Turkey Al-Sheikh backing him taking his time with his next fight, potentially he say, I'm going to show y'all how great I am in 2025. He's coming out with something big. So, it's not as easy as people think. Crawford is somewhat turned into an enigma a little bit, right? Because in the early stages, people believed that he was bad for business and all that, and really did him dirty, really did him disgracefully, right? But now, a lot of what people were saying about him back in the day turned out to be false, right? Turned out to be agitprop. And since he's left the canopy of Top Rank, for whatever reason that was, he left, and he's been able to lock in his undisputed fight, him and Spence together, get paid, went in there and did justice, moved up, earned his 4th division. He's doing awesome. You know what I'm saying? He will absolutely, he is beginning to fans are beginning to pollinate the flowers that he is cultivating in his career, y'all. They're understanding that this is a special individual. I'm being honest. They're understanding that now. Shout out to the hottest chat in the MF and gang. Honor Brown on deck. I see you. What's good? District 2 is in the building. What's good? What's good? Daniel, what's good? Michael, what's good? Salute. So at the, you know, when it comes down to what we witness and what's going on with Errol Spence at 154 is one of the hottest divisions along with 135. So 2025, of course, we should see some of those names take center stage once again. If it's Errol Spence and whoever, Sebastian Fundora, so be it. I'm waiting to see who Jermell Charlo comes back and fight. You know, I wouldn't mind seeing Charles Conwell and Jermell Charlo. Shout out to Christopher White in the building. What's good with it, brother? I see you. Salute to you, man. You know, you got Jermell Charlo still in the hunt. I don't know why. I hope he's moving up to 160. But then when I say that, they say, oh, you're not saying that about Crawford. Hey, Crawford haven't showed any or gave any indication that he's taken the elevator back down a floor to 147. He hasn't shown me that, especially not for Ennis. I'm hoping that sometime or another people will hear me when I say that Ennis should move up to 154. I don't see him unifying 147 pounds. I don't see it at all. I don't have to see it with my eyes open. I can close them and I'll get the same vision. I don't see him doing it because he's getting older. He's big for that weight class and it's not going to be healthy. If you want to talk about Teofimo Lopez standing 135, you know, too long, at least he was able to unify and undisputed in the franchise. Devin Haney, if he stayed there too long, look how old he is. Both of them are younger than, you know, Ennis is at the time. But salute to Charles Conwell, stack division. We definitely want to continue to keep an eye on what's going on that side. Let's talk about Hummy Munguia. Hummy Munguia, man. I don't know if you all remember, probably not, but Hummy Munguia, I was telling you all that he was one of those fighters that was fighting just like he'll go into one fight and then get into another fight. You know, when is his body resting? Why is he fighting so much? Dude, I'm asking myself, I say, what's going on with Hummy Munguia? You know what I'm saying? Hummy is 28 years of age. He has 46 professional fights. What are you in a race to? Because you already one of the top names in boxing. People know who Munguia is. You've been world champion already. Why are you racing? And this was his 4th fight in 2024, going in there with Bruno Saras from Tijuana, Mexico. And, you know, just, you know, whenever I look at Munguia, it's just something I say to myself, I don't know, man. You know, he came off the Alvarez fight and then only, you know, several months later, he's back in there against a guy, Bazian, in September of this year. And the fighter was 32-0-1. He stopped him in the 10th round. You know what I'm saying? This is coming off his first loss against Canelo Alvarez, and then turn back around. He's fighting in December. Now, this is not a title shot. You know what I'm saying? His opponent, Bruno Saras, right? I mean, this dude was 26-0 and 2 draws with 5 knockouts from France. 5 KOs. And he's going in there against Jaime Munguia, who has over 45 professional bouts, 44 wins with 35 knockouts. And he goes in there and get lined up with a right hand from all the way in another country. From France, you know what I'm saying, all the way to the jawline of Jaime Munguia. You know what I'm saying? He crossed the border. When you talking about that right hand crossed the border, man, it was just disrespectful. It was just disrespectful the way that they came all the way from France, long range sniper. Slow, steady breathing, exhale, and line Munguia up. 5 KOs, dude. Jaime had 30 more KOs. He had 30 more KOs. No, dude had 4 KOs, bro. Bruno had 4 KOs heading to the fight with Jaime Munguia. And Jaime Munguia is acting like this is the motherfucking Paris Olympics. He act like he is at the 100-yard dash, 200. He is in the sprints. Because I couldn't understand, bro, why are you fighting like this? Are you broke? It comes a time where if you just stepped out of the ring from Saul Alvarez, you should be able to set your priorities straight on where you intend to go. You already have the experience. You've been world champion. Why are you fighting like you're coming up through the ranks there, Jaime? He was fighting like he was coming up through the ranks, like he had a sense of freaking urgency. Like he had to fight this guy in order to get to this guy and this. Maybe they slow his ass down now. Seriously. Maybe they slow his ass down. Because it is embarrassing that you sit up here and go the distance with Saul Canelo Alvarez. The one and only Saul Canelo Alvarez. You go 12 rounds after being knocked down, but you get linear lined. You get lasered by a guy with 4 knockouts. You get lined up by a guy with 4 knockouts, and he gives you the worst showing of your professional career. Out of France. Who do you blame? Do you blame Jaime? Serious. Do you blame Jaime Munguia? Or do you blame his team? I mean, did they feel that this was going to be an easy one because it was in Tijuana, Mexico? And shout out to TJ, man. I used to go over there, like I say all the times. I used to go over to Tijuana when I was in school. You know, 17, 18 years old, man, going over there watching fights. But did they believe this was Taco Tuesdays? Did they believe this was some of the best Mexican cuisine they was going to be in and out like a robbery? Because this is one of the worst upsets of 2024. I'm going to be honest with you. This is one of the worst upsets. It's been plenty of people that took losses that wasn't supposed to lose. But, you know, this, you know, people say, well, Raymond Ford, he lost. No, Raymond Ford is not on my list of shockers when it comes down to what we witnessed with Jaime Munguia. With Bruno Saras and people up here trying to say, see, WCS, I'm trying to tell you, you know what I'm saying? Lamont Roach don't have to have all the knockout power to go in there and do your boy Javante the same way. I say, you keep on believing that shit. You keep on believing that. We don't know internally what was going on with Jaime Munguia. We don't know, you know, with him taking all these fights in recession. We don't know, bro. I can't say what was going on, but I did mention it, didn't I? I said, why is he fighting so much? Jaime Munguia just got out the ring with Canelo Alvarez. He gets a fight. It goes 10 rounds. Now you have to look at that. That's work. That's work. That's wear and tear on your body. And then he gets out of that fight. He want to end it in December in Mexico. I think that's where they went wrong, bro. They thought they had an easy touch, 4 knockouts. We can go ahead and get this guy up out of here. And this guy had it wasn't even a Rocky moment. What that guy was able to do is like witnessing all the UFO supposedly sightings around the world now. You know what I'm saying? That right there was like seeing a laser. For real. You're seeing a laser from an unidentified flying object shooting down to Earth. The way he lined Hummy McGee's jawline up. Come on, man. And when he touched him, it was shocking. You know what I'm saying? The way Hummy went down. I know people ringside who had put money on Hummy so close to Christmas, they was thinking, oh man, I'm about to get this money. I'm about to get this money. I'm about to get this money. Look, y'all. They thought they was about to get that money. But look. They found out that the Hummy McGee, you know, his whole entire villa, living la vida loca, whole Hummy McGee's villa was the Potemkin village. It turned out to be the Potemkin village, y'all. He has stayed active too long this year. Tijuana turned out to be the Potemkin village, yo. It looked one way, but it was all fake. It was all a dream. His opponent, Saras, that minimal knockouts. I mean, very, very minimal knockouts, yo. Who would have thought he would have lined Munguia up the way he did? It was a setup. TJ was under some type of spell. Somebody had casted this spell from up top. This is not something that was on Earth. I don't know. This was the Potemkin village. If those of you know what the Potemkin village was, you know what I'm saying? A town that they set up to look like a town, but everything in the town was absolutely fake. You know what I'm saying? They did that for the queen just so she can ride by. And, it's just like for show and tell, but it was a little town dedicated to royalty coming through. It was just fake village. Anyway, his team, they was at the casino too long. They gambled. They struck out. For real. They was in the casino too long in 2024. Seriously. They just got overzealous, yo. Sometimes what looks the easiest isn't. In this case, TJ, 4 knockouts. France, he's not on your level, homie. How you feel? I feel great. Senor, I feel good. You feel fresh? Yeah, I feel fresh, man. Body's good. Who would have thought that his body would have broken down in his 4th fight of 2024, and he's only 28 years of age? I mean, that's a lot of freaking wear and tear on the speedometer. Hami came into the sport of boxing in 2013. You know what I'm saying? So already he's going on 12 years, and within those professional years that he's competed, right? That's fight camp after 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 fight camp, man. Fight camp after fight camp after fight camp. I mean, you still got to go to fight camp, even if the fight is in Chihuahua, Mexico, Tijuana, Mexico, Cancun, Mexico. You know what I'm saying? You still have to get in fight camp. And they're gonna have to go back to the camp, rest it. You know, they're gonna have to rest and get back in the groove, man. That's all I can say. They just gonna have to rest. You know what I'm saying? Reevaluate 2020, what happened in 2024, and see what their POA is in 2025. But they messed up big time. They messed up. This man was stopped in a 6-round fight after going the distance in May with the one and only Saul Canelo Alvarez. After being knocked down, you were still able to get to the distance. And then you would have a win after that. And then you come back in here and you get stopped. I can see you taking a loss from Canelo, because remember, for a long time, Canelo, what? He had one loss on his record from Floyd. And then you get this second loss. Canelo's second loss was from a higher division, and he made it to the distance. But to take your second loss, and your second loss is a stoppage by someone who was an unknown, you know what I'm saying, a relative unknown, and hosting only a freaking bucket of knockouts. Just a small bucket. Something you can put a mop head in, move it around a little bit, mop the little small area of floor, squeeze it out, dump the water outside. You know what I'm saying? A mop bucket of knockouts. And you get lined. People, I mean, some would say, hey, man, that's what we need in boxing. It's always, expect the unexpected with boxing. Now, don't ever let them tell you, that's a precursor. You know what I'm saying? That's not a precursor to what's coming in 2025. I don't want to hear that shit. That's a fighter who was comfortable with ending the year for a paycheck. He went over back to his old stomping grounds, Tijuana. He went to old stomping grounds, y'all, and he felt like it was an easy plate of food for him just to go in there and fight this unknown 4 knockout having. He thought he'd just be able to go in there and get it done and add another win to his record. And I just want to ask y'all, I want y'all to exhale just a little bit, get that, and then inhale, get that oxygen in your brain. I want to ask y'all something. Did y'all see the look on Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. face when Jaime Munguia got dropped? Did you see it? Did you see the reaction of Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. when Jaime Munguia was dropped? Did you see it? Were you paying attention? It wasn't one of those looks that it was in reaction to something that was great, brilliant. That was one of those looks of humiliation, shame. He was like, oh my God, no. Shit, I'm sitting ringside for this? You a Mexican warrior. You don't supposed to get caught slipping from a guy named Bruno Saras. You shouldn't get caught slipping from a guy named Bruno Saras. That's all I'm saying, y'all. You shouldn't have gotten lined, lasered by a fighter with 4 knockouts in Tijuana, Mexico, named Bruno Saras. It's just all bad. Seriously, y'all. Bam, what's good? What up, WCS, the hottest chat? Now, Bud ain't going down, but up to 168 for 3-time undisputed. Canelo's 3 belt, then dude with the IBF at 168. Oh, oh, you think that's how it's gonna play out? Man, he'd be doing Skull a huge favor. You know what I'm saying? If Crawford even thought about fighting Skull with a C. You know what I'm saying? Skull with a C, yo. But gonna stop Canelo in the building. Salute to you. Munguia overlooked this guy. Salute WSS. Shout out to Bud gonna stop Canelo in the building, man. Yes, he overlooked him. It was absolutely a flagrant foul on team of Jaime Munguia at the end of the year. They went over to Tijuana, Mexico, and they believed that it was an easy touch. I mean, if you look at the entire paperwork, just what you see, the surface of it all, the surface, the paperwork tells you, hey, Munguia, you got this. You've been in there. Look, how many times you think they told Jaime Munguia, Jaime, you've been in there with Saul Canelo Alvarez. You went the distance with Saul Canelo Alvarez. This guy's not on your level. Come on, Jaime. What are you doing? You're making it tougher than it is. What are you doing, Jaime? Senor, I see. In the end, that's see. You know, they was like, oh shit. They're looking at each other in between, the second and third round. They say, hey, did Bendejo? Hey, did we fuck up, amigo? I think we might have fucked up, man. This Saras, he's tasting like sriracha. He's tasting a little spicy right now because this is tougher than what we thought. They fucked around and stayed active too long in 2024 because they felt like they was going to grab a bag lunch at the end of the year and take this freaking record over to 2025 and get another big name. And Jaime McGill with 2 losses is not the end of the world for Jaime, but it looks bad, yo. It looks really bad. It looks really bad, man. I mean, Jaime was one of those guys at 68. Well, I'll put it to you this way. I'm waiting for Canelo Alvarez to see what happened if he's going to fight Crawford or not. I don't know. Hold on for a second, yo. Yeah, my bad, y'all. Um, I ain't gotten the call in the process of talking. Appreciate that, OG. Um, Adam said Munguia was fighting like he didn't really care about winning. That's what a cherry pick does. You feel me? That's what a cherry pick does. He thought he was just gonna walk in there in the holiday season with a cherry pick, and it absolutely didn't work out in his favor. Real talk. Now Munguia was fighting like he knew he was gonna win no matter what. I can understand that too. I mean, that's what you do on a cherry pick, right? I mean, you fight like you was gonna win no matter what until four. I'm talking about he's hosting a 4 KO's to his professional ledger, and he stops the biggest name that's been in there with Canelo. He stops the biggest name. Come on. I know strippers was lined up outside his room. I knew I look, I knew the groupies. I don't know if he married, but I know the groupies showed up out of nowhere. They wanted the goddamn serenade. You the new Munguia. You the new Munguia. They was praising why he was still there. You know what I'm saying? They was giving the Frenchman all that mad love, man. You know what I'm saying? They have all the other fights on YouTube, but you can't see the replay of this one. Oh, for real? Oh my God! You know how the politics. You know what I'm saying? You know how the politics are when it comes to certain things. They want to expunge the replay. Hey, OG, you remember when we was up here talking? A lot of I think Bug and Stock Canelo was here too. When they did not have the Spence versus Crawford fight available, the whole fight wasn't available, and then they finally put it out there. Man, come on, bro. Yeah, man, he had 4 KO's, man. That's embarrassing as hell. But they need to go ahead and stop, just being, angry birds a little bit because it was an upset. See, what they believe is once we get a hold of it, it's going to be so many people speaking on it, but without the video footage, it does allow it to absolve quickly than it would if it was out here accessible. And you have more and more people looking at, oh shit, Homie Munguia, like a still frame. It has his it has its freaking statute of limitations, so to speak. People look at a still frame, a pic, and say, okay, but a video extends way farther than a frame sometimes, especially if you got a big name like Homie Munguia that's been in there with Nello, and he gets stopped by a guy with 4 knockouts. That's just bad all the way around. It's close to Christmas too. That's what happened when you fight with your hands down. Hey, OG, you know he had bad habits when he was in there with Canelo. I never really seen like what's so special about Munguia. God damn, I just never. This guy used to come through divisions, pick up a title, and leave. Like you never kind of knew he was there, man. Like I never really had the excitement from Munguia that other fight fans had. All because he was from Mexico. They used to say, "Oh, he's from Mexico. He's in Mexico. He's in Mexico." And guess what happened? You have a fighter with all those fights, and what's supposed to be the easiest fight end up being the most damning fight. Yeah, it ended up being the most damning fight, yo. That's unfortunate too. And I'm not saying it's somebody else out there that's somewhat in the same situation. I can possibly end up saying, well, I'm gonna leave it alone for now. I'm not gonna volunteer that information because I don't want to start too much, unneeded drama on a Sunday. That's all. But let's see what happened. Hey, y'all keep hope alive that Errol Spence can somehow return back to the ring. It seems like it's a motherfucking excursion at this point. The search and rescue team, god damn it, have they returned? Were they able to retrieve? Is it a body on deck? I mean, when is he returning to the ring? God damn it. They say they put the motherfucking beagles, bloodhounds. They had every sort of search, dog. They had the eagles in the sky. They had all that shit. When is he going to return to the ring, man? He's going to be damn near. We haven't heard anything like in March planned because Javante's fight is in March. So Errol's not fighting in March. So it's going to be damn near 2 calendar years by the time we possibly see Errol Spence back in the ring. And the conversation is not so much to the point where, you got people saying, hey, I want to see. It's them questioning, should Errol Spence take a tune-up? What do y'all think? Should Errol Spence take a tune-up before Sebastian Fundora? Or being that Sebastian Fundora has already been knocked out by Brian Mendoza, they pretty much in the same boat. What do you think? Because look, I remember clearly when people was bragging about Errol Spence not taking tune-ups. They say that was a testament of his grit, desire, durability, toughness, all that. They say that was a testament of who he is as a fighter because he don't have to take any tune-ups. That's what they were saying, y'all. So if he was to go in here against Sebastian, do you recommend he take a tune-up? He said, nope, he took too long. He has to step up now. Okay. Appreciate that. Appreciate dropping the info, man. He said, no, he took too long. He has to step up now. Hey, man, it seems like there's no empathy for Errol Spence at this point in time. I think it's because of what he pulled off early this year. You know what I'm saying? When he was in a so-called wheelchair, leaving Starbucks and shit. And somebody at goddamn taking a lid off their motherfucking latte and put some tape around and put it over his eye. Because then another picture came out, he had damn patch over the opposite eye. So you got people saying, no, he waited too goddamn long. Well, I mean, what are we to say? It's going to be 2 goddamn years before this dude stepped back in there. And just because he's younger than Crawford doesn't mean he's going to have success when he returns back to the ring against a fighter like Sebastian Fundora. I mean, it's a lot of question marks that people want answers to. Hopefully it plays out for us, man, in 2025. Seriously. Yeah, we'll see how that happens. Real talk. We'll see how that plays out. I'm still looking forward to David Benavidez and David Morrell, man. I'm looking forward to that. I do believe that David Benavidez gets it done. Morrell absolutely picks up his first loss. Absolutely. Yes, it seems good. You know what I'm saying? It sounds good to tell the 2 Davids in a boxing ring, from 2 different freaking countries, of course. But I truly believe that experience and you look, the adversities and challenges going along with his victories and success. It's David Benavidez is boxing IQ is too much for Morrell. Morrell has been able to pick up 2 Reggie belts. But the wild part about it, trying to stay on topic, is that they don't criticize Morrell for picking up 2 Reggie belts, but they criticize the shit out of Tank. I'm trying to stay on topic, though. I do. I'm just trying to stay on topic. But truthfully told, Morrell finally gets his shot. When I felt like I said, I don't think he's ready, bro. I don't think he's ready for no goddamn David Benavidez, man. And his strongest, his best effort, I believe, in the fight, his window of opportunity would be in the first 4 to 5 rounds. That's when Morrell is going to be at his best, his strongest, most dangerous. After that, I think it's going to be a lot of grimacing when Benavidez is standing right there squared up in front of him with it, letting his hands go, and Morrell doesn't know what to do with that pace, except, wait till he stop his combination set and try to land a counter. And Benavidez is going to have to be smart about it, of course, but that's what I see, yo. That's what I see. Real talk. But I'll possibly be back on a little later. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Michael Johnson. Got that wonderful KO over there at UFC. You know what I'm saying? Going backwards off the back foot too. Brutal knockout. But salute to everyone. Shout out to the hottest chat in the MF and game, y'all. Yeah. I may potentially be on later on this evening. But continue to support the channel. I appreciate y'all. Hold it down. I'm out. Peace.